Yo, what is up everyone, Z-Karma here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Now that the DLC season is over, and we have reached the final level cap increase at 65, at least for now, I wanted to bring you all my lists of all the top weapons in each category. In this one, we will be taking a look at the top 10 legendary pistols in Borderlands 3. Also, these pistols are in no specific order, as they all do very well on Mayhem 11. So before I get into this one, if you all find it informative or helpful in some way, a like rating is always appreciated, and if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. Starting off, we have the Hydra Frost. This is a COV pistol that drops from Chivalrous, which is an enemy that spawns at Negel Nishai in DLC number 2. This pistol can come as only as cryo element, and honestly, this pistol is very underrated. I hardly see people talk about this weapon, but it has a really cool effect that ends up dealing most of the damage. After a kill, every second shot will deal 200% shock or incendiary damage for 6 seconds. 200% extra damage is nothing to be slept on, and on top of that, it can actually come anointed even though it already has that cool effect. That is a recipe for a ton of damage. I have been using this weapon ever since it was released, and it has never been disappointing. You should definitely give it a try whenever you guys can because it's just too good. The anointments that work best with this weapon are the consecutive hits anoint or any elemental anoint. If you want to farm for it, it only drops from Chivalrous and the drop rate is around 35%, which is actually pretty good. Next up on this list we have the 7 Sens. This Jacob's pistol is a quest reward from DLC number 2. This weapon used to be godlike. Actually, it used to be the best pistol in the game, along with the King and Queen's Call. But unfortunately, multiple projectiles with multiple elements was fixed, and ever since that nerf, people put it to the side as if the weapon is nothing. But let me tell you, the 7 Sens is still really good. It cannot be anointed though, which is a bummer, so that's my only problem with it. Nonetheless, this pistol is a great choice of a weapon. I definitely recommend you all give it a try, even with that nerf in place. I also wanted to give an honorable mention to the King and Queen's Call. Those two weapons deserve a spot on this list, although they can't get any extra projectiles anymore. They still perform really well on all characters, especially on Flak. Moving on, we have the Gargoyle. This is another COV pistol. It drops from Dick and Goyle over at the Bloodsuns Canyon in DLC number 3. This weapon is always corrosive, and what's really cool about this weapon is that when you shoot it, the projectiles will stick to enemies and explode shortly after. And it also has a chance to shoot random blobs that deal about 500% more damage than the original shots. And on top of that, when this weapon reaches its breaking point, while you're reloading it, it will shoot out 5 of those corrosive blobs at once, dealing 2000% increased damage in total. Absolute unit of a weapon this is. You can also reload cancel if you wish, like I've been doing in this gameplay, and everything in the game will get melted instantly, even the strongest bosses. It also deals splash damage, so the best anointment would be the 200% splash anoint. If you want to farm for this weapon, the drop rate you should expect is about 30%. Next up, we have the Trick Shot. This is one of the new pistols introduced with the Designer's Cut DLC. It will drop in the Arms Race. Anyway, this is a Jacob's pistol that is all about raw damage. It's almost like a combination of the Flood and the Love Drill. It shoots extremely fast and deals a lot of damage. It also has a really cool reload animation. And this pistol is actually a lot of fun to use and is definitely one of the best Jacob's pistols in the game. I would put it up there with the Maggie in terms of damage output. The recommended anointments for this weapon is any anointments that gives you a bonus element. Moving on, we have the Lucky 7. This is a Jacob's pistol that drops in DLC number 1 from Scrap Trap Prime at a 50% drop rate. So it's almost guaranteed. You just farm it a couple times and you should be able to get this weapon. This pistol is the most gimmicky things in Borderlands 3, so I didn't really want to include it because of it, but when you have builds around the pistol, it will destroy everything in the game. And I mean everything. It definitely deserves some attention. Every time you reload, this weapon will roll 5 different modifiers. The goal is to get the guaranteed crit, the Lucky 7, and the explosion modifiers. This combination makes it extremely deadly. But of course, when you reload, you're gonna lose that combo. So you definitely need to run an ammo regen build, whether it's with Terror or just normal regen build like Moe's. I personally love using this pistol for what it is, but it will take a little time to get used to not reloading. Next up, we have the Hellshock / Beacon. I wanted to pair these two up because they are very similar. The Hellshock drops from Vermilingua over at the Splinterlands on Pandora, and the Beacon drops from Jarek Logan over at the Bloodstone Canyon in DLC number 3. They are both incredible Maliwan pistols. The Hellshock can switch between fire and shock elemental forms, and the Beacon can drop as any two elements. The main difference is that the Beacon deals splash damage, which gives it the edge as the better version. However, like I said, they both perform incredibly well at the highest difficulty in the game so far. Moving on, we have the Prompt Critical. This is the Torg pistol that drops from Evil Lilith in DLC number 4. This weapon is quite crazy, especially if you get the ×4 variant. It can come as any element and it deals loads of splash damage. This weapon is definitely the best Torg pistol in the entire game and deserves a spot on this list. Like all splash weapons, it works especially well on Moe's. It's more of a mobbing weapon though, because I noticed that when shooting a single target with the sticky mode, it actually did less damage, but it created a larger radius that took out enemies that were nearby. So you want to use impact mode on single target enemies and sticky mode with mobs. The anointment that I recommend is the 200% splash on action skill and anoint, and if you want to farm this one for yourselves, you need to go to the Castle Crimson in DLC number 4. The drop rate is about 10%. This pistol is just amazing. It'll prompt your enemies to be in critical condition after just one shot. Moving on, we have the Tizzy. I recently covered this weapon and it is just insane. This drops in the Arms Race game mode, and what's really cool about it is that every 12 shot will be emped. Additionally, when you reach its breaking point or whenever it starts heating up, the fire rate goes through the roof, meaning that you can shoot a ton of these amped shots consistently. It will basically destroy any boss in the game. And it can also deal with mobs pretty well. In the gameplay you are watching though, it was actually glitched so the fire rate wouldn't skyrocket, and to fix this all you need to do is save quit. However, against mobs, this glitch is actually not too bad because I'm not wasting any unnecessary ammo. The anointment that I recommend is the consecutive hits anoint or any bonus elemental anoint. But be careful, the Tizzy might make you a little dizzy. Next up, we have the one and only, the Maggie. This has been at the top of every pistols list through the entirety of Borderlands 3. Such a good Jacobs pistol that has always dealt some serious raw damage. Recently, it did receive a buff which has taken it, in my opinion, to the next level. You can basically clear mobs in the entire game with any character of your choice while using the Maggie. It also works fairly well on select bosses. Definitely one of the best pistols in Borderlands 3. If you want to farm for a Maggie, it is actually a world drop, but it's also a dedicated drop from Turnkey Tim over at the Floodmore Basin on Eden 6. Expect around a 15% drop rate. The anointments that I recommend for this weapon are the consecutive hits anoint or any bonus elemental anoint. I highly recommend that you get yourselves a Maggie. You never know. You might witness some magic with the mag of a Maggie. Magic. And finally on this list we have the undisputed best pistol in all of Borderlands 3, also known as the Mini Monarch, the power crept version of the magnificent pistol, the one, the only Light Show. This gun is something else. It can come as any element and it would literally destroy anything in the game. It's like a mini Monarch. It does fairly well against bosses, but when it comes to mobs, it makes mobbing on Mayhem 11 feel like you are playing with modded weapons. That's how good this weapon is. It will do you very well on any character of your choice, and if you haven't used this for yourselves, I highly encourage you that you try and get one. It drops from Lazodactyl over at the Obsidian Forest in DLC number 3. You never know. With the light show, you might see a lot of lights. Get it? Because it's a light show. Anyway, the recommended anointment is the consecutive hits anoint or any bonus elemental anoint. And that is the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way, a like rating is always appreciated. And if you want to subscribe for more content like this, that'll be awesome as well. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.